With over 2 billion followers, Islam stands as a titan of faith. But look closely at the map, and you'll see something catastrophic happening. It's not being erased by war, politics, or crusades. It's being dismantled by something far simpler, a Wi Fi signal. Imagine it's 2035. In cities like Casablanca or Tehran, the morning call to prayers echoes, but the mosques are empty. Islam, which shaped civilization for 1400 years, is facing a collapse in just 2 decades. Why? Because smartphones have done more damage to religious dogma than any army ever could. We are witnessing a quiet revolution. It is the shift from blind faith to information access. Today, we are going to look at why online connectivity became Islam's greatest vulnerability and why the religion simply cannot survive the internet unchanged. To understand the future of Islam, we have to look at the past of Europe. In the 15th century, the Catholic Church held the keys to heaven. They controlled the Bible, the language, and the rules. Then a man named Johannes Gutenberg invented the printing press. Suddenly, the priest wasn't the gatekeepers anymore. Ordinary people could read the Bible and they found corruption, contradictions, and lies. This sparked the Protestant Reformation and broke the church's monopoly on truth forever. Today, the internet is the new printing press, and Islam is the church. Just as the press dismantled the authority of the Pope, the internet is dismantling the authority of the imams. The digital age has democratized doubt. And just like the Catholic Church centuries ago, traditional Islam is finding that it cannot survive when the people have access to the source code. You might wonder, if Christianity faced this reckoning 500 years ago, why did Islam seem immune for so long? The answer is uncomfortable. It's about control. Unlike Christianity, which had to adapt to the Enlightenment and scientific revolution, Islam maintained a tight grip through caliphates and strict clerical rule. For centuries, the mechanism for survival wasn't debate. It was suppression of dissent. From the apostate wars of the 7th century to modern blasphemy laws, leaving the faith or even questioning it was often a death sentence. The Quran itself warns against asking too many questions that might cause distress. The system was designed to interpret inquiry as danger. This worked brilliantly when you could control the flow of information within a village or a city. But fear relies on isolation. And the one thing that internet destroys is isolation. What happens when a belief system built on unquestioning submission meets a generation with Google? The virtual Ummah emerges. For centuries, if you were a doubter in Saudi Arabia or Pakistan, you were alone. You were terrified. But today, you log on to Reddit or X and you find thousands of others just like you. The internet didn't just provide information, it provided a community. Surveys from North America to the Middle East show that the online forums are the #1 catalyst for religious doubt. A teenager in Riyadh can now read historical critiques, debate philosophy, and realize that their questions aren't sins, they are logical. The internet peeled back 1400 years of protective layering, exposing contradictions that had never faced genuine scrutiny. The monopoly of truth is gone. If you think this is just a Western phenomena, the data proves you wrong. A seismic shift is happening deep inside the Islamic world as well. Look at Iran, a state governed by strict Sharia law. Yet, a massive survey found that while 78% of Iranians believe in God, only 23% actually identify as Shia Muslim. Nearly half the population has transitioned to being non-religious. In a country where the state claims 99% compliance, the reality is a spiritual hollow out. And it's not just statistics, it's culture. Islam has now become meme field. On TikTok and YouTube, the sacred is now a subject of satire. Questions about Muhammad's life, scientific errors, and moral contradictions are raking up millions of views. What took Christianity centuries to process? Public questioning and secularization. Islam is speedrunning in a single generation. So how are Islamic regimes responding to this digital tidal wave with the only tool they know? Repression. Countries like Pakistan and Saudi Arabia are ramping up digital surveillance and banning websites. But here is the irony. Censorship in the digital age is a trap. It's the Streisand effect. The moment you ban a website or arrest a blogger for blasphemy, you turn their message into forbidden fruit. Every blocked site triggers a VPN workaround. Every silenced voice is replaced by 10 anonymous ones. You cannot arrest an idea by trying to crush online dissent. These regions are actually accelerating it, proving to the youth that the faith is too fragile to withstand simple questions. They're actually fighting a 21st century information war with 7th century tactics, and they are losing. We constantly hear that Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world. But this is a demographic illusion, a trick of the light. The growth isn't coming from people falling in love with the theology. It's coming from birth rates in underdeveloped nations. In places where women have no access to education, birth rates are high. But look at what happens when Muslims move to the West or gain access to education. The moment a Muslim woman receives an education, her fertility rate drops. In Europe, third-generation Muslim immigrants have birth rates almost identical to the native population. Education is the kryptonite to religious expansion. As the internet brings education to the remotest corners of the globe, the artificial population boom will crash. The quantity is there, but the conviction is fading. Here is the final twist in the story. In an attempt to save Islam from the internet, modern Muslims are inadvertently reforming it. Okay, so to make the faith palatable to a modern digital audience, apologists are whitewashing history. They claim Islam was the first feminist movement, that it loves science, that it never supported slavery. While historically inaccurate, this rebranding is actually creating a new version of Islam, one that is tolerant, secularized, and compatible with the West. Whether they realize it or not, the internet is forcing Islam to undergo its own reformation. What emerges from the ashes will either be neutered, spiritual cultural identity, or it will fade into history. The internet didn't just connect the world, it broke the spell of the unquestionable.